Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Nature Channel. Tonight, I invite you to settle into a comfortable place. Let your shoulders drop and breathe slowly with me. Let the day fall away like autumn leaves drifting to the ground. We're going to explore something gentle and mysterious, the quiet energy that hums beneath your feet, the natural vibrations that have been here long before us and will remain long after. This is a journey into the soft pulse of the earth itself. Close your eyes if you wish, or let your gaze soften. There's no hurry here, only the slow unfolding of wonder. Deep beneath where you rest right now, the earth is alive with movement. The core of our planet spins gently, a sphere of molten iron and nickel, creating a magnetic field that wraps around us like an invisible blanket. This field stretches far into space, protecting everything that grows and breathes. You are held always by this quiet embrace. The earth hums at a frequency so low that most of us cannot hear it. Scientists call these vibrations the Schumann resonances, and they pulse at about 7.83 cycles per second. It's the sound of lightning strikes traveling around the world, creating waves between the ground and the sky. Some say this frequency matches the rhythm of a calm human brain. Perhaps we are tuned to the earth's song without even knowing it. When you walk barefoot on grass or sand, electrons from the earth flow gently into your body. This exchange has happened for all of human history. Skin touching soil, connecting with something vast and grounding. The planet offers itself to you freely, asking nothing in return. Trees are magnificent conductors of Earth's energy. Their roots reach deep into the soil, some extending 3 times wider than their branches above. Through these roots, trees communicate, share nutrients, and even warn each other of danger. But tonight, we focus only on their peaceful presence, their steady breath of oxygen, their patient watching over the forest floor. In the redwood forests of California, some trees have stood for over 2,000 years. Imagine all they have witnessed: storms passing, seasons turning, animals finding shelter in their bark. These giants grow so tall because they work together, their roots intertwining underground, holding each other upright through wind and time. The soil beneath a forest is alive with billions of tiny organisms. In just one handful of healthy earth, there are more living creatures than there are people on this planet. These microscopic beings break down leaves, create nutrients, and help roots absorb what they need. It's a quiet, endless cycle of giving and receiving. When lightning strikes the ground, it creates fulgurites, hollow tubes of glass formed from sand melted by the intense heat. These fragile sculptures remain buried, marking where sky touched earth with sudden energy. Most will never be seen by human eyes, but they exist anyway, quiet reminders of nature's power transformed into something delicate. Crystals grow slowly inside the earth, atom by atom, arranging themselves into perfect geometric patterns over thousands of years. Quartz crystals, for example, form deep underground, where silica-rich water cools slowly. Each crystal is unique, yet all follow the same ancient blueprint written into the fabric of matter itself. The earth breathes in its own way. In caves around the world, air flows in and out with the changing pressure outside, as if the planet is drawing slow, patient breaths. Some caves exhale cool air in summer and inhale in winter, creating gentle winds that have flowed for millennia. Volcanic hot springs bubble with minerals from deep within the earth: magnesium, calcium, sulfur. People have bathed in these waters, for thousands of years, feeling the warmth rise through them. The heat comes from the planet's core, traveling up through stone and water to meet your skin. The ground beneath your feet is never truly still. It rises and falls with the tides, just like the ocean, though only by a few inches. The moon's gravity pulls gently on the Earth's crust, and the land responds, swelling and subsiding in a rhythm you cannot feel, but which has never stopped. In places where tectonic plates meet, the Earth releases tension slowly, creaking and adjusting like an old house settling. Most of these movements are too small to notice, just the planet rearranging itself, finding comfort in its own ancient body. Some stones, when struck together, create sparks. Flint and quartz can generate light with a simple collision, a reminder that energy sleeps inside even the hardest, quietest things. Our ancestors used these sparks to make fire, coaxing warmth from cold stone. The aurora borealis, those curtains of green and pink light that dance across northern skies, are created when particles from the sun interact with Earth's magnetic field. The energy travels thousands of miles, guided by invisible lines of force, before releasing as color and movement. It's a conversation between star and planet, written in light. Beneath glaciers in Iceland and Antarctica, volcanoes sleep under blankets of ice. Heat and cold exist together, separated by stone and time. Sometimes warm water flows from beneath the ice, creating hidden rivers that have never seen sunlight. The rhythm of waves against a shore is never exactly the same twice. Yet, it follows patterns, sets of larger waves, then smaller ones, an ancient music composed by wind and gravity and the shape of the ocean floor. You could listen for a lifetime and never hear the same sequence repeated. In the desert, rocks absorb heat during the day and release it slowly at night, warming the cool air. This exchange, taking in, giving back, happens without thought, without effort. The stones know how to hold energy and when to let it go. If you like learning about these gentle vibrations that surround us, leave a comment below and let me know what draws you to nature's quiet energy. And if this story helps you find peace, a like would mean the world. Moss grows on the north side of trees in many forests, preferring the shade and moisture found there. This tiny plant, without flowers or seeds, spreads slowly across bark, creating soft green blankets. Moss has existed for over 400 million years, patient and persistent, asking little from the world. When you place your hand on a sun-warmed stone, you're feeling energy that traveled 93 million miles from the sun, was absorbed by the rock, and is now transferring gently to your palm. The journey took 8 minutes through space, and now it ends as warmth against your skin. The Earth's magnetic field flips every few 100,000 years. North becomes south, south becomes north. This reversal doesn't happen suddenly, but over hundreds or thousands of years, a slow turning of invisible forces. The last flip occurred about 780,000 years ago. We live in the pause between changes. Deep in the ocean, underwater volcanoes create new Earth constantly. Lava meets water, hardens into stone, and the seafloor expands. Entire mountain ranges exist beneath the waves, hidden, growing, adding to the planet's surface inch by inch, year by year. Salt crystals form when ocean water evaporates, leaving minerals behind. These crystals catch light, creating tiny rainbows. Salt flats stretch for miles in some places, white as snow, humming with heat, reflecting sky and sun. They seem empty, but they're full of quiet geometry and light. Tonight, as you rest, know that the earth beneath you is gently vibrating, slowly spinning, constantly adjusting and creating and dissolving and reforming. You are part of this great, patient movement. You belong to this energy. Let's continue breathing together slowly as we explore more of the earth's soft mysteries. The ground remembers everything. Layers of soil and stone hold the history of rainfall, of forests that grew and fell, of rivers that changed their paths. Each layer is a page in a book written over millions of years, and all of it rests quietly beneath the surface, asking nothing, simply existing. In some places, the earth rings like a bell. After large earthquakes, the entire planet vibrates for days or even weeks, oscillating at frequencies too low for human ears. These vibrations travel through the core, the mantle, the crust, the whole earth humming with the memory of movement. Geothermal energy warms homes in Iceland, where the earth's heat is close to the surface. Water circulates down into hot rock and returns as steam, carrying warmth from deep places to human spaces. It's a gift that requires no burning, no depletion, only patience and respect for what the planet offers. The oldest water on Earth has been trapped in rock for billions of years, since before there was oxygen in the atmosphere, before the first plants appeared. When scientists drill deep and release this water, it tastes of minerals and time. It has never felt sunlight, never fallen as rain. Magnetite, a magnetic mineral, exists naturally in the brains of many animals, including humans. These tiny crystals may help birds navigate during migration, sensing the Earth's magnetic field like an internal compass. We carry pieces of the Earth inside us, connecting us to directions we don't consciously understand. The planet's rotation creates the Coriolis effect, which makes weather systems spin. Hurricanes in the northern hemisphere rotate counterclockwise, while those in the southern hemisphere spin clockwise. It's the Earth's turning that gives wind its spiral shape, a gentle push that influences everything that moves across the surface. Stalagmites and stalactites in caves grow at a rate of about 1 inch every 100 years. Water drips, leaves behind a microscopic layer of minerals, drips again. The process is so slow that a formation the height of a person may have taken 10,000 years to build. Patience measured in stone. The Earth's crust floats on the mantle like ice on water, shifting and drifting at about the same speed your fingernails grow. Continents move, but so slowly that a human lifetime cannot measure the change. Yet, over millions of years, mountains rise, oceans open, and land that was once connected becomes separated by thousands of miles. Petrified wood forms when fallen trees are buried under sediment and protected from decay. Slowly, mineral-rich water replaces the organic material, cell by cell, until what was once living becomes stone. The tree's shape remains, rings, knots, even the texture of bark, but transformed into something that will last millions of years. Black sand beaches form where volcanic rock meets the ocean. Waves grind the dark stone into fine grains over centuries, creating shores that shimmer differently than golden sand. Walking on black sand feels like stepping on the boundary between fire and water, between the deep earth and the flowing sea. If you're enjoying this gentle journey into the Earth's energy, consider subscribing so you don't miss future stories. There's a whole playlist of calming nature explorations waiting for you. The Earth generates its own heat from radioactive decay deep inside. Elements like uranium and thorium slowly break down, releasing energy that has warmed the planet for billions of years. This internal furnace powers volcanoes, hot springs, and the movement of tectonic plates. The Earth is warm from within. Bioluminescent organisms in the ocean, tiny plankton that glow when disturbed, create light through chemical reactions. When waves crash at night, the water sparkles blue-green, as if stars have fallen into the sea. This light requires no electricity, no fire, only the meeting of chemistry and movement. The wind carries energy across vast distances. A breeze that touches your face may have begun as warm air rising over a desert, traveled across mountains and forests, gathered moisture over the ocean, and finally arrived at this moment, this place, to cool your skin. Amber is fossilized tree resin, formed when sap hardens and is buried for millions of years. Sometimes insects are trapped inside, preserved perfectly, suspended in golden transparency. What was once sticky and liquid becomes hard and clear, holding tiny moments of ancient life. The Earth's atmosphere vibrates with sound we cannot hear, infrasound from earthquakes, avalanches, waterfalls, and even the northern lights. These low frequencies travel thousands of miles, passing through us without our awareness. The world is always singing, just below the range of human hearing. Rivers carry energy from highlands to lowlands, moving billions of tons of sediment each year. They carve canyons, deposit nutrients in floodplains, and shape coastlines. The journey of water downhill is one of the most powerful forces on Earth. Yet it happens through gentle persistence, drop by drop, year after year. When you touch driftwood on a beach, you're holding a piece of tree that was shaped by water and time. The ocean has smoothed away rough edges, bleached the wood pale, and deposited it far from where the tree first grew. The wood is soft now, transformed by salt and wave into something new. Deep underground, in places without light, bacteria derive energy from minerals instead of sunlight. They break down iron and sulfur compounds, living in complete darkness, sustained by the chemistry of stone. Life finds a way, even in the deepest, quietest corners of the earth. Moonstones and opals scatter light in iridescent flashes because of their internal structure. Tiny spheres arranged in patterns that bend light into color. The rainbow glow seems to move as you turn the stone, as if the mineral is breathing light in and out. The tide moves not just water, but energy, creating currents that flow around the world. In some narrow channels, tidal forces create whirlpools and standing waves, concentrations of power that appear and disappear with the rhythm of the moon. The ocean remembers the schedule written in gravity and time. Ancient riverbeds on Mars suggest that water once flowed there, carrying energy and possibility across a landscape now dry and still. The channels remain, carved into red stone, a memory of motion frozen in place. Even on another world, we see the signature of water's patient power. Take a moment to breathe deeply. Let your body settle a little more. There's no rush. We have all the time we need. The Earth's rotation creates day and night, a rhythm that almost every living thing follows. This spin has been slowing down very gradually for billions of years. Days were once only a few hours long. Now they are 24 hours and still lengthening, though you will never notice the change in your lifetime. Minerals in clay absorb toxins from water, purifying it naturally. For thousands of years, people have used clay to cleanse wounds and skin. The earth offers healing in its simplest forms: mud and water, sun and time. The sound of rain falling on soil is created by millions of tiny impacts, each drop releasing a small burst of energy. Together, they form the soft rush we associate with storms, a sound that has comforted and calmed humans since we first sought shelter and listened. Somewhere right now, a seed is splitting open underground, using energy stored from sunlight that fell months ago. The sprout pushes up through darkness, following a direction it cannot see, trusting in the warmth and light it has never known, but somehow expects. The Earth's inner core spins slightly faster than the rest of the planet, a detail discovered only recently through careful study of seismic waves. This hidden difference creates subtle shifts in the magnetic field, variations too small to affect your day, but vast enough to influence compasses across the globe. Peat bogs preserve everything that falls into them. Ancient pollen, seeds, even entire bodies remain intact for thousands of years. The water in these bogs is so acidic and low in oxygen that decay nearly stops. Time slows down. What sinks into the bog remains, held gently by the Earth's chemistry. Geysers, like Old Faithful, erupt on a schedule determined by underground chambers filling with water and heat. Pressure builds, steam expands, and finally the water bursts upward in a column of mist and warmth. Then the cycle begins again, filling, heating, releasing. The Earth keeps time in its own way. Sandstone often shows ripples from ancient rivers and beaches, patterns frozen in stone that once moved with water. You can place your hand in a groove carved by a current that flowed 200 million years ago, feeling the shape of movement that has stopped but not disappeared. When snow falls on high mountains and compresses over centuries, it becomes glacial ice. This ice holds bubbles of ancient air, tiny samples of the atmosphere from thousands of years ago. Scientists drill into glaciers and release these breaths, analyzing what the Earth was like before cities, before farms, when the world was quieter. Lodestones are naturally magnetic rocks, pieces of magnetite that have been struck by lightning or aligned by the Earth's field. Ancient sailors used these stones as the first compasses, trusting in the invisible pull toward north. The stones knew a direction that human eyes could not see. The Earth wobbles slightly as it spins, a movement called precession. This wobble takes about 26,000 years to complete one cycle. It changes which stars appear above the North Pole over millennia. Polaris has not always been the North Star, and one day, far in the future, it will not be again. Underground lakes exist in vast caverns, bodies of water that have never seen sunlight. Some of these lakes are home to blind fish and pale crustaceans, life adapted to eternal darkness. The water is still, undisturbed by wind, moving only when something swims through it or a drop falls from the ceiling high above. Olivine is a green mineral found in volcanic rock, created under intense heat and pressure. When lava cools quickly, olivine crystals remain suspended in the black stone like stars in a night sky. These fragments of the Earth's mantle rise to the surface, offering a glimpse of the deep. The soil in forests is layered like a cake, leaf litter on top, then partially decomposed material, then humus rich with nutrients, then mineral soil, and finally bedrock. Each layer has a role, and together they support the trees that reach toward light, while roots reach down into darkness. I hope you're finding comfort in these stories. If you are, a gentle like lets me know to create more of these peaceful journeys for you. And check the playlist for more ways to drift into calm. The rhythm of your heartbeat echoes rhythms found throughout nature, the pulse of waves, the cycle of day and night, the expanding and contracting of tides. Your body knows these patterns. You are not separate from the Earth's vibrations. You are part of them. Thermal springs in Yellowstone create colorful pools because of thermophilic bacteria, microorganisms that thrive in near boiling water. They paint the edges of hot springs in rings of orange, yellow, and green, life claiming even the hottest places, turning extreme environments into beauty. The Earth's magnetic poles wander slowly across the Arctic and Antarctic, moving about 10 miles per year. This drift is natural, caused by swirling currents of molten iron in the outer core. The north you navigate by today is not quite where it was when your grandparents were young. When glaciers move, they grind rock into a fine powder called glacial flour. Meltwater carries this powder into lakes, turning them bright turquoise. The color comes from suspended particles that reflect light in specific ways. The lakes seem lit from within, as if holding pieces of sky. The concept of ley lines suggests that ancient sites align along paths of natural energy. While not scientifically proven, the idea reminds us that humans have always sensed something in the landscape. Connections between places, invisible threads of meaning and power. Whether real or imagined, the feeling of certain places being special is universal. Tree roots communicate through fungal networks called mycorrhizae. The fungi connect root to root, tree to tree, creating what some call the wood wide web. Through these connections, trees share water, carbon, and chemical signals. The forest is a community linked underground. The Dead Sea is so salty that almost nothing lives in it. Yet, the water holds you up effortlessly. Floating requires no effort. The dense water supports your body completely. It's a strange and peaceful sensation to be held by water so entirely that sinking seems impossible. Lightning strikes the earth about 100 times every second somewhere in the world. Each strike transfers enormous energy in a fraction of a second, heating the air to temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun, creating thunder, sometimes starting fires, occasionally making glass from sand. Fossils are time-made visible. The imprint of a leaf, the shell of an ancient creature, the footprint of a dinosaur, all are energy and life transformed into stone. When you hold a fossil, you touch something that was alive millions of years ago, now silent and solid, yet still present. The tide goes out, and tide pools remain, small worlds of water trapped among rocks. Sea stars, anemones, crabs, and fish wait for the ocean to return, living in the rhythm of advance and retreat. Twice a day, the sea comes back, and twice a day, it leaves again. Moonlight is reflected sunlight, energy that traveled from the sun to the moon and back to Earth. It's gentler than direct sunlight, softer, and it carries a different quality, quiet and silver, associated with rest and mystery. Plants and animals respond to moonlight, and so, perhaps, do we. Some minerals glow under ultraviolet light, fluorite, calcite, willemite. In daylight they appear ordinary, but under UV they burst into brilliant greens, reds, and blues. The energy of invisible light excites electrons in the minerals, and they release visible light in response. hidden color waiting to be revealed. The center of the earth is nearly as hot as the surface of the sun, about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Yet, we walk on a thin, cool crust, insulated by miles of rock. The furnace beneath us has burned for billions of years and will continue long after we are gone. Breathe slowly. Let your thoughts drift like clouds. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to figure out. Just the soft hum of the earth and your own gentle presence upon it. When rain falls on dry soil, a scent rises, petrichor, the smell of earth released after a drought. It comes from oils plants secrete during dry periods and from a compound called geosmin, produced by soil bacteria. The earth has a fragrance, and it blooms when water touches it. Obsidian forms when lava cools so quickly that crystals don't have time to grow. The result is volcanic glass, smooth and sharp, sometimes black, sometimes streaked with color. Ancient peoples made tools from obsidian, blades sharper than modern steel, cut from frozen fire. The speed of sound changes depending on what it travels through. In air, sound moves at about 767 miles per hour. In water, it travels more than 4 times faster. In solid rock, faster still. The earth conducts sound at different speeds through different layers, creating echoes and reverberations we cannot hear. Coral reefs are built by tiny animals over thousands of years, each polyp adding a small calcium carbonate structure. The reef grows slowly, becoming habitat for thousands of species. It's a collective creation, life building upon life, forming structures large enough to be seen from space. The energy in a hurricane comes from warm ocean water. Heat evaporates water, which rises and condenses, releasing more heat, which causes more evaporation. The cycle feeds itself, growing larger until the storm moves over land or cooler water and the energy source disappears. Salt mines exist where ancient seas evaporated millions of years ago. Miners work in tunnels carved through solid salt, surrounded by walls that glitter in the light of their lamps. Some salt mines are so vast and stable that they store important documents and art, protected by the dry, unchanging environment. Basalt columns form when lava cools and contracts, cracking into hexagonal shapes. Places like the Giant's Causeway in Ireland are made of thousands of these columns, fitted together like a honeycomb. The geometry is natural, created by the physics of cooling and stress, yet it looks almost deliberately designed. The ground beneath forests is rich with mycelium, the thread-like body of fungi. Some mycelium networks are enormous. One in Oregon is thought to cover more than 2,000 acres and be thousands of years old. It's one of the largest living organisms on Earth, mostly hidden, mostly silent. Deserts are not empty. They vibrate with heat during the day and cold at night. Wind shapes sand into dunes that migrate slowly across the landscape. Beneath the surface, seeds wait for rain that may not come for years. When it does, the desert blooms suddenly, briefly, before returning to stillness. If you enjoy these moments of calm, leave a comment and share what part of the Earth's energy speaks to you most. Your thoughts are always welcome here. The horizon line where Earth meets sky is about 3 miles away if you're standing at sea level. It's the curve of the planet becoming visible, the gentle arc of the world beneath your feet. We live on a sphere, but it's so large that most of the time it feels flat. Limestone caves are carved by water slightly acidic from dissolved carbon dioxide. Over millions of years, water dissolves rock, creating chambers and passages. What was solid becomes hollow, and the earth gains new spaces, quiet rooms filled with darkness and the sound of dripping water. The mid-ocean ridges where tectonic plates pull apart are the longest mountain ranges on Earth. They stretch for over 40,000 miles, mostly underwater, unseen. New crust is born here, molten rock rising to fill the gap, cooling, solidifying, and eventually, millions of years later, being consumed again at subduction zones. Amber sometimes contains perfectly preserved insects, frozen mid-flight or mid-crawl. The resin captured them instantly, and time turned the resin to stone. Now, we can see creatures that lived tens of millions of years ago, their wings and legs still delicate, still detailed. Wind turbines capture the kinetic energy of moving air and convert it into electricity. The wind itself is powered by the sun, which heats different parts of the earth unevenly, creating pressure differences that cause air to flow. Energy passes from sun to air, to turbine, to light. Icebergs calve from glaciers with a sound like thunder, massive pieces of ice breaking free and falling into the ocean. Most of the iceberg remains underwater, only a small portion visible above the surface. They drift slowly, melting as they move into warmer waters, returning to the sea as water once again. The Sargasso Sea is a region of the Atlantic Ocean with no land boundaries, defined instead by currents that circulate around it. It's relatively still in the center, filled with floating seaweed. The water is deep blue, very clear, and home to creatures found nowhere else. Radiocarbon dating works because living things absorb carbon-14 from the atmosphere. When they die, they stop absorbing it, and the carbon-14 begins to decay at a known rate. By measuring how much remains, scientists can tell how long ago something lived. Time leaves a signature, even in atoms. Soil, over long periods, can turn into rock. Sediment piles up, and the weight of layers above compresses those below. Water carries minerals that act as glue, binding particles together. What was loose becomes solid. The earth is patient in its transformations. Heat from the earth's interior causes convection currents in the mantle. Hot rock rises, cools, and sinks again in a cycle that takes millions of years. This slow circulation drives the movement of tectonic plates, causing continents to drift and mountains to rise. The sound of the ocean in a seashell is not the ocean at all, but the echo of ambient noise around you, resonating in the curved space of the shell. Yet the illusion is comforting, as if the shell remembers the waves and whispers them back to you. Snowflakes form when water vapor freezes around a tiny particle in a cloud. The crystal grows as it falls, its shape determined by temperature and humidity. Each snowflake is unique because each one experiences slightly different conditions during its journey to the ground. Let your breathing slow even more. Feel the weight of your body supported by whatever you're resting on. And beneath that, the solid earth, and beneath that, layers of rock and heat, all the way down to the glowing core. The oldest rocks on Earth are over 4 billion years old, nearly as old as the planet itself. They've survived impacts, erosion, and the recycling of crust through tectonic activity. To hold such a rock is to hold a piece of the Earth's beginning. Bioluminescence in deep-sea creatures often comes from bacteria living inside them, a symbiotic relationship. The fish provides shelter, the bacteria provide light. Together, they navigate the darkness, communicating, hunting, and evading predators with living glow. River stones are smooth because water and sand wear away their rough edges over centuries. Each stone started with sharp breaks and angles. Time and motion transformed them into the rounded shapes you hold in your hand. Certain trees, like the bristlecone pine, can live for thousands of years. They grow slowly in harsh environments, adding one thin ring per year. Some bristlecones alive today were seedlings when the pyramids were being built. They stand quietly, witnesses to millennia. The Earth's gravity is not uniform. It varies slightly depending on the density of rock beneath you and the distance to the center of the planet. Mountains have slightly stronger gravity, and the equator, where you're farther from Earth's center due to its bulge, has slightly weaker gravity. You weigh a tiny bit less at the equator than at the poles. When tectonic plates collide, one often slides beneath the other in a process called subduction. The descending plate melts as it goes deeper, and some of that molten rock rises again as volcanoes. The Earth recycles itself, consuming old crust and creating new land. The wind over the ocean creates waves, transferring energy from air to water. These waves can travel thousands of miles before reaching shore. The energy that crashes on a beach in California may have originated in a storm near Japan, carried across the Pacific by the patient movement of water. Geodes look like ordinary rocks on the outside, but inside they're lined with crystals: amethyst, quartz, calcite. The hollow center forms when gas bubbles are trapped in cooling lava, and over time, mineral-rich water seeps in and deposits crystals layer by layer. Hidden beauty, waiting to be discovered. If you haven't already, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. There are many more calming stories waiting for you in our playlist, each one an invitation to rest. Salt flats form in basins where water has no outlet. Rain and rivers bring water, which evaporates in the sun, leaving salt behind. Over time, the salt accumulates in vast white expanses, flat and reflective, mirroring the sky. Walking on a salt flat feels like walking on clouds. The sound of wind through pine trees is different from wind through oak or aspen. Each tree has its own voice, determined by the size and shape of its leaves or needles, the flexibility of its branches. A forest is a choir, each member contributing a unique note to the whole. Permafrost is soil that remains frozen year-round, found in polar regions and high mountains. It can be thousands of years old, holding ancient pollen, seeds, and even intact mammoths. When permafrost thaws, it releases what has been locked away, both life and carbon, preserved by cold. The moon's gravity creates two bulges in Earth's oceans, one on the side facing the moon, pulled by gravity, and one on the opposite side, pushed by inertia. As the Earth rotates beneath these bulges, we experience high and low tides. The ocean rises and falls, breathing with the moon. Waterfalls convert potential energy into kinetic energy and sound. Water falls, accelerates, and crashes into the pool below, creating mist and a roar that can be heard from far away. The energy disperses, the water calms, and the river continues on its way. In the deep ocean, hydrothermal vents spew superheated water rich in minerals. Around these vents, entire ecosystems thrive in complete darkness, feeding not on sunlight, but on chemicals. Tube worms, clams, and bacteria live at the edge of these scalding plumes, thriving where most life cannot. The Earth's albedo, its reflectiveness, affects how much sunlight is absorbed versus reflected back into space. Ice and snow reflect most light, while forests and oceans absorb it. This balance influences climate, temperature, and the energy budget of the entire planet. Thunder is the sound of air expanding rapidly when heated by lightning. The expansion creates a shock wave that we hear as a rumble or crack. Counting the seconds between lightning and thunder tells you how far away the strike was. Sound travels about 1 mile every 5 seconds. Meadows hum with the vibration of bees moving from flower to flower. The bees' wings beat hundreds of times per second, creating a buzz that shakes pollen loose. This sound is the sound of pollination, of energy transfer, of life sustaining life. Clay soil holds water, while sandy soil drains quickly. Each type supports different plants, different ecosystems. The texture of soil, determined by particle size and composition, shapes what can grow, what can live, what the land becomes. Rainbows appear when sunlight passes through water droplets, bending and separating into colors. Each color has a different wavelength and bends at a slightly different angle. The result is a spectrum, an arc of light that appears and disappears as conditions change. The Grand Canyon was carved by the Colorado River over millions of years. Water, carrying sand and stone, wore away layer after layer of rock. What seems immovable and eternal yields to the persistence of flow, revealing the deep history of the earth in colored bands. Let yourself sink a little deeper into rest. There is no need to hold anything. The earth holds you. Some lakes are so deep that their bottoms have never been fully explored. Lake Baikal in Siberia, the deepest in the world, holds more fresh water than any other lake. It's ancient, over 25 million years old, and home to species found nowhere else, life that evolved in isolation. Moss can survive being completely dried out and then revive when water returns. This resilience allows it to grow in places other plants cannot, on rocks, in cracks, on thin soil. It waits through drought, through winter, patient and quiet, ready to green again when conditions allow. The wind carries seeds across continents. Dandelion seeds drift on feathery structures designed to catch air. Maple seeds spin like helicopters. Each design is a solution to the same problem: how to spread, how to find new ground, how to begin again somewhere else. Volcanic ash, when it settles, enriches soil with minerals. Over time, volcanic regions become incredibly fertile, supporting lush forests and abundant crops. Destruction becomes creation. The fire that burns eventually nourishes. Heat lightning is simply lightning from a distant storm, too far away for you to hear the thunder. The light reaches you, but the sound does not. You see flashes on the horizon, silent, like the sky is breathing light. The earth spins at about 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, yet you feel no movement. The atmosphere moves with the planet, and everything on the surface is carried together. Only by watching the sun and stars do we perceive the turning. In winter, lakes freeze from the top down because ice is less dense than water. This quirk of physics allows fish and other life to survive beneath the ice, in water that remains liquid even when the surface is solid. The lake becomes a layered world: air, ice, water, mud, each with its own rhythm. Spider webs glisten with dew in the morning, each droplet catching light. The silk is incredibly strong for its weight, flexible and sticky in just the right places. Spiders rebuild their webs regularly, and each one is a work of precision, spun from the spider's own body. Certain rocks, when tumbled by waves or rivers for long enough, become perfectly round. They fit in your palm, smooth and heavy, satisfying to hold. Each one is a collaboration between stone and water, time and motion. Fog is a cloud that has touched the ground. It forms when air cools to the point where water vapor condenses into tiny droplets. Fog softens the world, muffling sound, hiding distance. Everything becomes close and quiet, wrapped in gray. The roots of mangrove trees grow in salt water, filtering out the salt and thriving where most plants would die. They stabilize coastlines, provide habitat for fish and birds, and protect inland areas from storm surges. They are bridges between land and sea. Energy from the sun drives almost all life on Earth. Plants capture sunlight and convert it into chemical energy through photosynthesis. Animals eat plants or eat other animals that ate plants. The energy flows through food webs, always tracing back to the sun. Some deserts receive rain so rarely that years pass between storms. When rain finally comes, the desert transforms. Seeds that have waited in the soil for a decade suddenly sprout. Flowers bloom in waves of color. The land remembers how to be lush, if only briefly. I hope this story is helping you unwind. If it is, let me know with a like and explore more peaceful content in our playlist. The Earth's magnetic field protects us from solar wind, a stream of charged particles from the sun. Without this shield, the solar wind would strip away our atmosphere. We live inside an invisible bubble of safety, created by the motion of molten metal deep underground. Sand dunes sing in some deserts, a low hum or boom when the sand shifts. The sound is caused by grains of a certain size and shape rubbing together as they avalanche down the dune's face. The desert has a voice, rare and strange. Sea foam forms when organic matter in the ocean is agitated by waves. Proteins and fats act like soap, creating bubbles. The foam piles up on beaches, white and light, dissolving slowly as it dries. It's the ocean exhaling. Old-growth forests have trees of many ages, from seedlings to giants hundreds of years old. The canopy is layered, creating habitats at different heights. Fallen logs decay slowly, becoming nurse logs where new trees sprout. Death feeds life in a continuous cycle. Rivers meander because water moves faster on the outside of a curve, eroding that bank while it slows on the inside, depositing sediment. Over time, the river traces wider and wider loops. Eventually, a loop may close off, forming an oxbow lake, a crescent of still water beside the flowing river. Granite forms deep underground when magma cools slowly. The slow cooling allows large crystals to grow, giving granite its speckled appearance. Granite is hard and durable, used in buildings and monuments. What was molten becomes solid, and what was hidden is quarried and brought to the surface. When you breathe, you exchange molecules with the atmosphere. Some of the oxygen you inhale was recently released by a tree. Some of the carbon dioxide you exhale will be absorbed by a plant tomorrow. You are part of a cycle connected to the breathing of forests and oceans. Fjords are valleys carved by glaciers and later flooded by the sea. Their steep walls and deep waters create dramatic landscapes, places where mountains plunge directly into the ocean. They're places of transition where ice once was, water now is. The speed at which heat travels through rock is incredibly slow. If you could turn off the sun, it would take tens of thousands of years for the Earth's interior to cool noticeably. The planet holds heat like a stone holds warmth long after the fire has gone out. Crystals in caves sometimes grow in clusters that look like flowers. Gypsum flowers, aragonite frostwork. Each form is dictated by the chemistry of the water and the shape of the space. The earth makes art in the dark, unseen, beautiful for its own sake. The first light of dawn is called the golden hour by photographers, when the sun is low and its light passes through more atmosphere, scattering blue and leaving warm tones. The world glows soft and orange, a gentle transition from night to day. Earthquakes release energy that has been building for years or centuries as tectonic plates press against each other. When the stress exceeds the strength of the rock, it breaks suddenly, and the stored energy radiates outward as seismic waves. The earth adjusts, finds a new balance, and begins storing stress again. Clouds form when warm, moist air rises and cools. The water vapor condenses around tiny particles of dust or salt. Each cloud is a collection of countless droplets, suspended, drifting, constantly changing shape. Let your mind drift like those clouds. No need to hold any thought, just let them pass, soft and slow. Tree bark protects the living layers beneath from fire, insects, and disease. Each species has its own texture, smooth, rough, peeling, ridged. Running your hand over bark is like reading a language written in wood. Rivers carry sediment to the ocean, building deltas where the current slows and deposits its load. Deltas are some of the most fertile land on Earth, rich with nutrients, constantly reshaped by the river's flow. They grow outward, claiming the sea inch by inch. The stars you see at night are so far away that their light has traveled for years to reach your eyes. You're seeing the past, looking at light that left its source long before it arrived. The universe sends messages and we receive them long after they were sent. Deep in the ocean, pressure is immense. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the pressure is over 1,000 times what we experience at sea level. Yet, life exists there. Translucent fish, amphipods, bacteria, adapted to conditions that would crush most other creatures. The deep is not empty, it's simply different. Lichen is not one organism, but two, a fungus and an alga or cyanobacterium living together. The fungus provides structure, the alga provides food through photosynthesis. Together, they survive on bare rock, breaking it down slowly, creating soil for plants that will come later. Sunlight penetrates only the top layer of the ocean, the euphotic zone. Below about 200 meters, darkness is nearly complete. Yet, even in the deepest parts, bioluminescent creatures create their own light, flashing signals in the dark. Glacial ice can appear blue because it's so dense that it absorbs all colors of light except blue, which is reflected back. When you look into a crevasse or a glacial cave, the blue seems impossibly vivid, almost glowing, though it's only reflected sunlight. Thermal inertia is why the ocean cools and warms more slowly than land. Water absorbs heat without rapidly changing temperature and releases it just as slowly. This is why coastal climates are milder, buffered by the ocean's steady presence. Magnetotactic bacteria align themselves with Earth's magnetic field and swim along magnetic field lines. They contain chains of magnetite crystals, tiny internal compasses. Even the smallest life responds to the planet's invisible forces. The Rocky Mountains were formed when tectonic plates collided, pushing land upward. That collision happened tens of millions of years ago, yet the mountains remain, slowly eroding, grain by grain, as rivers carry them to the sea. If you're finding peace in this journey, please leave a comment and let me know. I love hearing how these stories help you relax. And don't forget to check out the full playlist for more. Desert varnish is a dark coating on rocks in dry regions, created by wind-blown dust, bacteria, and slow chemical reactions. It can take thousands of years to form a thin layer. Ancient peoples carved petroglyphs through the varnish, revealing lighter stone beneath, images that have lasted millennia. The Coriolis effect makes moving objects curve relative to the Earth's surface. It's why hurricanes spin, why ocean currents flow in great loops, why long-range projectiles must account for the planet's rotation. We live on a turning sphere, and motion is influenced by that spin. Evaporation is water's gentle escape. Molecules gain enough energy to break free from the liquid and become vapor, invisible, rising into the air. The process cools the surface left behind, which is why sweating cools your skin. Quartz is one of the most common minerals found in sand, in granite, in veins running through rock. It's hard, resistant to weathering, and can form beautiful crystals. Much of the sand on beaches is broken down quartz, grains that were once part of mountains. Rivers have a rhythm called discharge, the volume of water flowing past a point per second. Discharge changes with seasons, with rain, with snowmelt. The river swells and shrinks, fast and slow, deep and shallow, but it always flows. Permafrost, when it melts, releases methane that has been trapped for thousands of years. Methane is a greenhouse gas, and its release accelerates warming. The Earth's systems are connected. What happens in one place affects the whole. Auroras occur near the poles because Earth's magnetic field funnels charged particles toward the polar regions. There, the particles collide with gases in the atmosphere, exciting them and causing them to emit light. The sky dances with energy from the sun, guided by the planet's magnetic embrace. Hot springs are windows into the Earth's warmth. Water seeps down through cracks, is heated by proximity to magma or hot rock, and rises again. The water can be rich in minerals, sulfur, iron, silica, painting the surroundings in yellows, oranges, and whites. The smell of the ocean comes partly from dimethyl sulfide, a compound produced by phytoplankton. It's the scent of life in the water, invisible but abundant. The ocean smells like the life it holds. The Earth's gravity holds the moon in orbit, and the moon's gravity pulls on the Earth, creating tides and slowing Earth's rotation. They are locked in a dance, each affecting the other, a partnership billions of years old. Limestone often contains fossils because it forms from the shells and skeletons of marine organisms. Entire mountains are made of ancient life, compressed and transformed into rock. To walk on limestone is to walk on the remains of seas that dried up millions of years ago. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Let the words wash over you like water, gentle and continuous. Pine trees release volatile organic compounds that give forests their fresh, clean scent. These compounds may have health benefits, reducing stress and improving mood. The forest offers not just beauty and oxygen, but a chemistry of calm. Lava flows can move quickly or slowly depending on their composition and temperature. Some flows are thin and fast, others thick and creeping. When lava reaches the ocean, it cools instantly, shattering into black sand, creating new land at the meeting of fire and water. The water cycle is powered by the sun. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation. Water moves from ocean to sky to land and back again. You drink water that has fallen as rain, flowed in rivers, been absorbed by plants, and evaporated countless times. Stalactites hang from cave ceilings, formed drip by drip over thousands of years. Each drop leaves behind a microscopic amount of mineral. The formations grow downward toward the stalagmites rising from the floor. Sometimes they meet, forming columns that span the space between. Wind erosion shapes rock into arches, hoodoos, and balanced stones. The softer layers wear away faster, leaving harder rock behind in strange and beautiful forms. The desert sculpts itself, patient artist working with sand and time. Ice cores drilled from Antarctica reveal layers of snow that fell hundreds of thousands of years ago. Each layer holds information about the atmosphere, temperature, and even dust from volcanic eruptions. The ice is a library, and each page is a year. Beavers build dams that change the flow of streams, creating ponds and wetlands. These wetlands store water, filter pollutants, and provide habitat for countless species. One animal, through persistent work, reshapes the landscape. Thunderstorms generate electricity through the collision of ice particles in clouds. The separation of positive and negative charges creates a difference in electrical potential. When the difference becomes great enough, a spark jumps. Lightning, a brief connection between cloud and ground. Soil bacteria convert atmospheric nitrogen into forms that plants can use, a process called nitrogen fixation. Without these bacteria, plants would struggle to grow, and ecosystems would be very different. Life depends on the invisible work of microorganisms. The color of the ocean changes with depth and what's in the water. Clear tropical waters appear turquoise. Waters rich with plankton may look green. Deep ocean water is dark blue, almost black. Each color tells a story about what lives there and how light interacts with water. Geothermal heat keeps some rivers from freezing even in the coldest winter. Steam rises from the water into frigid air, creating scenes that seem otherworldly, flowing water surrounded by ice and snow, heat and cold existing side by side. I hope these stories are guiding you toward rest. If you'd like more, subscribe and explore our playlist. There's always another peaceful journey waiting. The concept of grounding or earthing suggests that direct contact with the Earth's surface may have health benefits. Whether through biochemical exchange or simply the peace of being outdoors, the act of touching the ground connects you physically to the planet. Mountain ranges create rain shadows. Moist air rises over the mountains, cools, and releases precipitation on the windward side. By the time the air descends the other side, it's dry. This is why one side of a mountain range may be lush and the other arid. The sound of a river varies with the size and speed of the water, the shape of the bed, the presence of rocks and obstacles. Each river has its own voice, roaring rapids, gentle murmurs, the hiss of water over smooth stones. Tidal bore is a phenomenon where the incoming tide creates a wave that travels up a river against the current. It happens in a few places around the world where the geography is just right. The river flows backward, briefly, driven by the ocean's pulse. The moon Titan, orbiting Saturn, has lakes of liquid methane. It's the only other place in the solar system known to have stable bodies of liquid on its surface. Even there, far from Earth, the physics of evaporation and rain create cycles, though with different substances. Permafrost can contain seeds that remain viable for thousands of years. When the ground thaws, some of these seeds can germinate, sprouting into plants from an ancient time. Life waits, patient beyond measure, for the right conditions. The Earth's inner core is solid, despite being incredibly hot. because the pressure is so great that iron cannot melt. The outer core, under less pressure, is liquid. These differences create the currents that generate Earth's magnetic field. Lava tubes form when the surface of a lava flow cools and hardens while molten lava continues to flow beneath. When the flow stops, a tunnel remains. Some lava tubes are large enough to walk through, silent passages carved by fire. Glaciers carve U-shaped valleys as they advance, their immense weight grinding rock beneath them. When the glacier retreats, the valley remains, wide, flat-bottomed with steep sides. Yosemite Valley is one such place, sculpted by ice and time. Breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. You are safe. You are held by the earth, and the earth is patient and vast. Ocean currents, like the Gulf Stream, carry warm water from the tropics toward the poles, distributing heat around the planet. Without these currents, climates would be far more extreme. The ocean is a conveyor belt of energy, moderating temperature across continents. Some trees drop their leaves in autumn to conserve water and energy during winter. Before the leaves fall, they withdraw nutrients and store them in roots and trunk. The leaves turn brilliant colors as chlorophyll breaks down, revealing other pigments that were there all along. Rainwater is naturally slightly acidic because it absorbs carbon dioxide from the air, forming weak carbonic acid. This acidity helps dissolve minerals in rock, a process that contributes to soil formation and the carbon cycle. Obsidian reflects light like a mirror when polished. Ancient peoples used it for tools and ornamental objects. Holding polished obsidian is like holding frozen night, smooth, dark, and strangely warm to the touch despite its appearance. The center of a hurricane is calm, the eye, a region of low pressure and light wind. Around it, the eye wall holds the strongest winds and heaviest rain. The eye can be eerily peaceful, a stillness surrounded by chaos. Coral polyps are animals, but they live in partnership with algae called zooxanthellae. The algae photosynthesize, providing food, and the polyps provide a safe place to live. Together, they build reefs that support entire ecosystems. The Sahara Desert was once green, covered with lakes and vegetation. About 6,000 years ago, changes in Earth's orbit shifted rainfall patterns, and the desert spread. Rock art in the Sahara shows hippos and crocodiles, remnants of a wetter time. Peat is partially decayed plant material that accumulates in waterlogged conditions. It can be dried and burned for fuel, but it forms very slowly, about 1 millimeter per year. Peatlands store vast amounts of carbon accumulated over thousands of years. Some caves are entirely dark, and the creatures that live there have lost their eyes over generations. Blind cave fish navigate by sensing vibrations and chemicals in the water. They've adapted to a world without light, thriving in eternal night. When magma cools underground, it can form large crystal formations because the cooling is slow. Pegmatites, rocks with exceptionally large crystals, can have crystals several feet long. The slower the cooling, the larger the crystals can grow. Ocean waves refract as they approach shore, bending to align with the coastline. This is why waves tend to hit the beach head-on, even if they approached from an angle offshore. The ocean adjusts its energy to fit the shape of the land. Sap flows in trees, carrying water and nutrients from roots to leaves. In spring, pressure builds as trees prepare to grow, and sap flows more vigorously. Maple syrup comes from this flow, concentrated sweetness, energy stored and then released. The deepest plants in the ocean are algae that can photosynthesize at depths where only a fraction of sunlight penetrates. They've adapted to use the dim blue light that reaches them, growing slowly in the twilight zone. Erosion is gravity's patient work. Water, wind, and ice carry particles downhill. Mountains become plains, canyons deepen, coastlines retreat. Change happens so slowly that a human lifetime cannot measure it, but it never stops. Let me know in the comments what aspect of Earth's energy resonates with you most. Your reflections are always welcome here, and a like helps others find this calm space too. Soil color indicates its composition. Red or yellow soils contain iron oxides. Black soils are rich in organic matter. White or gray soils may be sandy or contain calcium. The earth beneath your feet has a palette, and each hue means something. Geysers require 3 conditions: heat, water, and a plumbing system of underground channels. When all 3 are present, water heats, pressure builds, and the geyser erupts. Then the cycle begins again. It's a natural clock, keeping time in steam and spray. Tide pools are reset twice a day by the ocean. Waves bring fresh seawater, oxygen, and plankton. Between tides, the pools are isolated worlds, miniature oceans where life waits for the sea to return. The trade winds blow steadily from east to west in the tropics, driven by the Earth's rotation and uneven heating. Sailors have relied on these winds for centuries, using the planet's breath to cross oceans. Sinkholes form when underground rock dissolves and the ground collapses into the cavity. In limestone regions, water carves out hollow spaces over time. Eventually, the surface can no longer support its own weight and falls, revealing the hidden void. Permineralization is a type of fossilization where minerals fill the spaces inside bones or wood, preserving the structure in stone. The original material may decay, but the shape remains, recorded in mineral form. Earth's axial tilt gives us seasons. When the northern hemisphere tilts toward the sun, it's summer there and winter in the southern hemisphere. 6 months later, the situation reverses. The tilt is constant, but our relationship to the sun changes as we orbit. Clouds are constantly forming and dissipating. A cloud may look solid, but it's a temporary gathering of water droplets, constantly changing, never the same from one moment to the next. Moonstone shimmer is caused by light scattering between thin layers of feldspar. The effect, called adulorescence, makes the stone seem to glow from within. It's purely physical, structure interacting with light, but it feels magical. Volcanic soil is some of the richest on Earth. Minerals from deep underground are brought to the surface, weathered, and incorporated into soil. This is why volcanic regions, once they cool and stabilize, become lush and productive. Let go of any remaining tension. Your body is heavy, warm, safe. The earth beneath you is solid and patient, and you are part of it. Rivers freeze from the edges inward because water near the banks is shallower and loses heat faster. Ice builds out from the sides, and if the river is small enough, it may freeze completely. Larger rivers may never fully freeze, the current too strong to still. Sand dunes migrate as wind blows sand up one side and it tumbles down the other. The dune moves slowly in the direction of the prevailing wind, reshaping the desert landscape over decades and centuries. Hot mud pots bubble in volcanic areas where steam and gas rise through wet clay. The mud heats, thins, and churns, popping and splattering. It's strange and primordial, the Earth's interior made visible in gray, steaming mud. The ozone layer absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation, protecting life on Earth's surface. It exists in the stratosphere, a thin shield of molecules constantly being created and destroyed by sunlight. Without it, the sun's rays would be far more dangerous. Limestone dissolves in acidic water, which is why caves form in limestone regions. Over millions of years, water carves passages, chambers, and formations, creating hidden spaces underground. Convection in the atmosphere creates weather. Warm air rises, cool air sinks, and the circulation drives winds, storms, and the movement of moisture. The atmosphere is never still. It's always flowing, adjusting, seeking balance. Frost forms when water vapor in the air freezes directly onto surfaces, skipping the liquid phase. On cold mornings, frost decorates windows, grass, and leaves with delicate ice crystals, each one unique. The Earth is about 4.5 billion years old, formed from the dust and gas of the solar nebula. What was scattered and formless condensed into a sphere, heated by collisions and radioactive decay, and slowly cooled into the layered planet we know. In the deep ocean, pressure can prevent water from boiling even at temperatures above 100 degrees Celsius. Near hydrothermal vents, water can be superheated, far hotter than boiling, yet it remains liquid because of the immense weight of water above. Wildfires, while destructive, can also renew ecosystems. Some plants require fire to release their seeds. Ash fertilizes soil, and the cleared land allows sunlight to reach new growth. Fire is part of the cycle, not separate from it. Glaciers hold about 68% of the world's fresh water, locked in ice. If all glaciers melted, sea levels would rise dramatically, reshaping coastlines. But for now, they remain slow rivers of ice, moving, calving, and occasionally surging forward. The ocean is layered by temperature and salinity. Warm, fresh water floats on top of cold, salty water. These layers don't mix easily, creating boundaries that influence currents and where marine life lives. If you're enjoying this peaceful exploration, please like the video and check out our playlist for more calming stories about nature's gentle rhythms. Sand grains are rated by size: fine, medium, coarse. Each size feels different underfoot and shapes different landscapes. Fine sand blows easily, forming dunes. Coarse sand stays put, creating stable beaches. The wind in a canyon can create echoes and strange sounds as it funnels through narrow spaces. Rock formations act like musical instruments, humming, whistling, or moaning as air moves through cracks and cavities. Lava can flow in channels, cascades, and fountains. It can ooze slowly or rush like a river. The behavior depends on its temperature and composition. Basaltic lava flows easily. Rhyolitic lava is thick and sluggish. Tectonic plates move at about the speed your fingernails grow, a few centimeters per year. It seems negligible, but over millions of years, this motion builds mountains, opens oceans, and rearranges continents. The midnight sun occurs in polar regions during summer, when the sun doesn't set for days or weeks. The Earth's tilt keeps the pole pointed toward the sun, and day stretches on, continuous and strange. Snowpack in mountains acts as a natural reservoir, storing water as snow and releasing it slowly as melt in warmer months. This steady release sustains rivers and ecosystems through summer, a delayed gift from winter. Bioluminescent plankton bloom in certain conditions, and when disturbed, they light up. A boat moving through water at night can leave a glowing trail, Even footprints in wet sand can spark with blue light. It's life responding to touch with illumination. Clouds can exist at different altitudes: low stratus clouds, mid-level altocumulus, high cirrus. Each type forms under specific conditions and contributes differently to weather. The sky is layered, and each layer has its role. Barometric pressure changes with weather and altitude. High pressure usually means clear skies. Low pressure often brings clouds and rain. Your body can sense these changes even if you're not consciously aware. Let your thoughts dissolve. There's nothing to solve, nothing to remember. Just the quiet presence of the earth and the soft rhythm of your breathing. Tropical rainforests are incredibly biodiverse, home to more than half of the world's species despite covering only about 6% of Earth's surface. The warmth, moisture, and layered structure create countless niches for life. Glacial lakes are often a brilliant turquoise due to glacial flour, fine sediment suspended in the water. The particles scatter light in a way that emphasizes blue-green wavelengths. The color is vivid and almost unreal. Diamonds form deep in the Earth's mantle under extreme pressure and temperature, then are brought to the surface by volcanic eruptions. Their carbon, arranged in a crystal lattice so strong that diamond is the hardest natural material. The water you drink has been part of the water cycle for billions of years. It's been in clouds, rivers, oceans, ice caps, and living things. You're drinking the same water that dinosaurs drank, recycled endlessly by the planet. Certain clays expand when wet and shrink when dry, causing the ground to crack and heave. These clays can damage foundations and roads, but in nature, they create patterns, polygons of dried mud, each piece separated by deep cracks. The Earth's rotation causes the Coriolis effect, which influences not just weather, but also ocean currents. Water moving toward the equator curves westward. Water moving toward the poles curves eastward. The planet's spin shapes the flow. Pollen grains are incredibly durable and distinctive, surviving in soil and sediment for thousands of years. By studying pollen cores, scientists reconstruct past climates and vegetation, reading history written in microscopic grains. The aurora australis, or southern lights, mirrors the aurora borealis, but occurs in the southern hemisphere. Fewer people see it because less land exists at those latitudes, but it's equally beautiful. Ribbons of green and red light dancing over ice and ocean. Stromatolites are layered structures created by cyanobacteria, some of the oldest evidence of life on Earth. These bacteria built mounds over billions of years, trapping sediment and forming stone. Some stromatolites are still growing today, slowly, in a few places around the world. Underground rivers flow through caves and porous rock, unseen. In some places, they emerge as springs, clear, cold water appearing from the ground. The water has traveled through darkness, filtered by stone, emerging pure. Snowflakes sometimes have rime, tiny ice crystals that form on their surface as they fall through supercooled clouds. This gives them a frosted appearance, adding layers to their already intricate design. If this story is helping you unwind, a like and a comment would mean so much. And don't forget to explore the full playlist for more journeys into nature's quiet wonders. The deep biosphere, microbes living kilometers below the Earth's surface, contains a massive amount of biomass, perhaps as much as all life on the surface. These organisms live slowly, reproducing maybe once every 1,000 years, sustained by chemical energy from rock. Sea caves are carved by waves, which exploit weaknesses in coastal rock. Over time, the cave deepens and widens. Some sea caves have openings above and below the waterline, and waves surge in and out, creating echoes and booming sounds. Alpine meadows bloom briefly in summer, carpeting high mountain slopes with wildflowers. The growing season is short, and plants must bloom, seed, and prepare for winter quickly. The display is vibrant and fleeting. Tidal marshes are where land meets sea, flooded and exposed by the tide. Salt-tolerant grasses grow in these zones, their roots stabilizing sediment. Marshes are nurseries for fish and feeding grounds for birds. The Mohorovičić discontinuity, or MOHO, is the boundary between the Earth's crust and mantle. It's not a sharp line, but a transition where the rock's properties change. No one has drilled through it, but seismic waves reveal its presence. Glaciers advance and retreat in response to climate. When snowfall exceeds melting, glaciers grow. When melting exceeds snowfall, they shrink. This balance shifts over decades and centuries, and glaciers record the changes in their length and mass. Granite countertops and buildings are made from stone that formed miles underground, cooled slowly, and was later exposed by erosion. The rock you walk on or touch was once molten, deep, and hidden. Icebergs are carved from glaciers and drift in polar seas. They can be thousands of years old, containing ice from snowfall long before recorded history. They melt slowly, releasing ancient water into the ocean. Certain rocks fluoresce under UV light, glowing in colors invisible in daylight. The minerals absorb ultraviolet energy and release it as visible light. It's a hidden property, revealed only under the right conditions. The Earth's crust is thinnest under the ocean and thickest under mountains. Beneath the Himalayas, the crust can be 70 kilometers thick. The planet adjusts its structure in response to forces balancing weight and movement. Clouds can seed rain by providing surfaces for water vapor to condense on. Without dust, salt, or other particles, water vapor can become supercooled without freezing. The presence of particles triggers precipitation, turning vapor into droplets that fall. Close your eyes and imagine the slow turn of the earth, the patient hum of its core, the gentle vibrations that have been here since the beginning. River deltas are shaped by the balance between the river's flow and the ocean's waves and tides. Some deltas are fan-shaped, others branching like veins. They grow, shrink, and shift, dynamic landscapes at the meeting of fresh and salt water. Soil horizons, layers with distinct colors and textures, develop over time as organic matter accumulates, minerals leach, and weathering occurs. A cross-section of soil tells the story of processes that have been happening for thousands of years. The Pacific Ring of Fire is a zone of intense volcanic and seismic activity encircling the Pacific Ocean. It's where tectonic plates collide and subduct, releasing energy as earthquakes and eruptions. The Earth is most active at its edges. Salt crystals grow into cubes because of the arrangement of sodium and chloride ions. Each crystal is a geometric expression of atomic structure, order emerging from solution. Cirrus clouds are high and wispy, made of ice crystals. They often indicate that weather is changing as they form ahead of warm fronts. Their delicate appearance belies their role in signaling shifts in the atmosphere. The Earth's gravity holds the atmosphere close, preventing it from drifting into space. This invisible tether keeps air around us, allowing life to breathe, weather to form, and sound to travel. Thundersnow is a rare phenomenon where thunder and lightning occur during a snowstorm. The snow dampens sound, so the thunder is muffled, and the lightning illuminates falling snow in strange, brief flashes. Magma chambers beneath volcanoes can exist for thousands of years, slowly cooling or being replenished by new magma from below. These chambers can be enormous, holding cubic kilometers of molten rock, waiting under pressure. Some lakes have no visible outlet. Water leaves only by evaporation or underground seepage. These endorheic lakes often become salty over time as minerals concentrate. The Great Salt Lake is one example, a remnant of a much larger, ancient lake. Feel free to leave a comment and share what brings you peace in nature. Your voice is part of this community, and I love hearing from you. Permafrost thaw can create thermokarst, irregular sunken ground where ice has melted. The landscape becomes pitted and uneven, dotted with ponds. It's a visible sign of warming, the frozen ground yielding to heat. The Earth's magnetic North Pole has wandered significantly in recent decades, moving from Canada toward Siberia. This drift is natural, driven by changes in the outer core's flow, but it requires periodic updates to navigation systems. Sand ripples form in rivers, on beaches, and in deserts, created by the movement of water or wind. The ripples are perpendicular to the flow, and their spacing depends on grain size and current speed. They're patterns written by motion. When water freezes, it expands. This is unusual. Most substances contract when they solidify. Ice is less dense than liquid water, which is why it floats. This property allows life to survive beneath frozen lakes and oceans. Salt crystals harvested from the sea have a slightly different mineral profile than mined salt, containing traces of magnesium, calcium, and potassium. The ocean's complexity is captured in each grain. Convection currents in the mantle are thought to drive plate tectonics. Hot material rises, cools, and sinks again, creating a cycle that moves the crust above. It's the engine of continental drift, invisible and slow. Fossils of marine creatures found on mountaintops tell of ancient seas that once covered the land. The rock was uplifted, and the sea receded or evaporated, leaving shells and bones high and dry, evidence of the Earth's dynamic history. Volcanic islands form when magma breaks through the ocean floor and builds upward, eruption by eruption, until the peak rises above the waves. Hawaii, Iceland, and the Galapagos are all volcanic islands, born from the deep. Cumulus clouds are the fluffy white clouds of fair weather. They form when warm air rises, cools, and condenses. They drift lazily, changing shape, harmless and beautiful. Groundwater can be thousands of years old, held in aquifers deep underground. When we pump this water, we're using a resource that accumulated slowly over millennia. It's a gift from the past, not quickly replenished. Let your breathing become even slower. Each breath is a gift from the earth. Oxygen from trees, air held by gravity, a cycle that sustains you effortlessly. Gravel forms from rocks broken down by weathering, then transported by water or ice. The pieces are rounded by tumbling, smoothed by friction. A gravel bed is a history of journeys, each stone worn by distance and time. Glacial erratics are boulders transported by glaciers and left behind when the ice melts. These rocks can be different from the bedrock they rest on, evidence of the glacier's path. They're silent witnesses to ice ages. The Earth's rotation is gradually slowing due to tidal friction. Days are getting longer, but at a rate so slow that it takes millions of years to add a noticeable amount of time. Ancient corals show growth patterns indicating shorter days in the past. Sedimentary layers can be folded by tectonic forces, creating arcs and waves in the rock. What was laid down flat is bent and twisted, showing the immense power of the Earth's movements. Light pillars are atmospheric phenomena, where ice crystals in the air reflect light from the sun or artificial sources, creating vertical columns of light. They appear most often in cold, calm conditions, beautiful and ephemeral. Aquifers are underground layers of permeable rock that hold water. They can span hundreds of miles and provide drinking water for millions of people. Water seeps slowly through the rock, filtered and stored, a hidden reservoir. The temperature of the Earth increases with depth, about 25 degrees Celsius per kilometer in the crust. Miners and deep drillers encounter this heat, the warmth of the planet rising from below. Atolls are ring-shaped coral reefs that form around volcanic islands. As the island slowly sinks or erodes away, the reef remains, encircling a lagoon. The island disappears, but the life it supported continues, building upon itself. Snow can act as insulation, protecting the ground and small animals beneath from extreme cold. Subnivean zones, the space between snow and ground, can be significantly warmer than the air above, creating a hidden microhabitat. If you'd like more stories like this, please subscribe and explore the playlist. Each one is an invitation to rest and reconnect with the natural world. The color of a sunset is caused by Rayleigh scattering, where shorter blue wavelengths are scattered out of the direct path of sunlight, leaving longer red and orange wavelengths. The thicker the atmosphere the light passes through, the redder the sun appears. Peat bogs can spontaneously ignite if they dry out, burning underground for months. The fire moves slowly, consuming organic material hidden beneath the surface, sometimes re-emerging far from where it started. Dew forms on cool nights when surfaces cool below the dew point, causing water vapor in the air to condense. Grass, leaves, and spider webs are often covered in tiny droplets at dawn, each one catching light. Volcanic ash is made of tiny fragments of glass and rock, formed when magma is shattered by explosive eruptions. The ash can travel thousands of miles, affecting air quality and sunlight, sometimes creating vivid sunsets. The salt content of the Dead Sea is so high that almost no life survives, hence the name. Yet extremophile bacteria thrive there, adapted to conditions that would kill most organisms. Even the most inhospitable places can harbor life. Sand can sing or squeak when you walk on it, if the grains are the right size and shape. The friction between grains produces sound, creating beaches and dunes that emit tones when disturbed. The Earth's oceans hold about 97% of the planet's water. Fresh water is rare by comparison, and most of it is locked in ice. The small fraction that remains in lakes, rivers, and groundwater sustains all terrestrial life. River rapids form where the gradient steepens or obstacles create turbulence. Water accelerates, breaks into waves and foam, and roars over rocks. The energy of falling water is concentrated, powerful, and mesmerizing. Mud cracks form in wet clay that dries and shrinks. Cracks start small and propagate, forming polygonal patterns. The ground becomes a mosaic, each piece separated by fractures, waiting for the next rain to soften again. Moonbows are rainbows created by moonlight instead of sunlight. They're rare and faint, often appearing white to the eye. though cameras can capture their color. They require a bright moon and rain, a delicate alignment. Volcanic bombs are chunks of molten rock ejected during an eruption. They cool and solidify as they fly through the air, sometimes taking on streamlined shapes. They land with impact, evidence of explosive force, frozen in stone. Breathe deeply. You are part of the planet, and the planet is vast, patient, and gentle. Let yourself be held. The Earth's shadow can be seen at sunset, a blue-gray band rising in the east opposite the setting sun. It's the shadow of the planet itself, cast onto the atmosphere, a reminder of the Earth's roundness and its place in space. Constellations have been used for navigation and storytelling for thousands of years. The stars themselves are distant suns, and their patterns are accidents of perspective. Yet humans have woven them into meaning, finding comfort in their constancy. The sound of wind varies with speed, and what it moves through leaves rustle, grasses hiss, bare branches creak. Wind is invisible, known only by its effects, a force that shapes and moves without being seen. Permafrost contains the remains of plants and animals from tens of thousands of years ago, preserved by cold. As it thaws, these remains decompose, releasing carbon. The frozen past is waking, with consequences for the future. Waterfalls create negative ions, which some studies suggest can improve mood and reduce stress. Whether it's the ions or simply the beauty and sound of falling water, waterfalls are places of peace and renewal. The ocean floor is a landscape of mountains, valleys, and plains, mostly unexplored. Deepest trenches, mid-ocean ridges, seamounts, all exist in darkness, shaped by forces we're only beginning to understand. Glaciers grind rock into fine powder called rock flour. When meltwater carries this powder into rivers and lakes, it turns the water milky and opaque. The color is a sign of the glacier's presence, even far downstream. Snowdrifts form where wind deposits snow in sheltered areas. The drifts can be much deeper than the surrounding snowpack, sculpted into smooth curves or sharp cornices by the wind's persistent shaping. Salt marshes filter pollutants from water, trap sediment, and provide habitat for birds, fish, and invertebrates. They're transition zones, neither fully land nor fully sea, rich and productive. Consider leaving a like if this journey has brought you calm, and explore the playlist for more gentle stories that help you rest. The speed of light in water is slower than in air or vacuum, which is why objects appear bent when partially submerged. Light refracts, changes direction at the boundary, an effect of the different densities. Permafrost can preserve DNA for thousands of years. Scientists have extracted and sequenced ancient DNA from frozen soil, revealing ecosystems long gone. The ice is a time capsule, holding genetic information from the past. Raindrops are not teardrop-shaped, but more like flattened spheres or even hamburger buns when they're large. Air resistance shapes them as they fall, pushing up on the bottom and creating a dome on top. Lightning can strike the same place multiple times, especially tall structures like skyscrapers and towers. The Empire State Building is struck about 20 to 25 times per year. The idea that lightning never strikes twice is a myth. Coral bleaching occurs when corals expel their symbiotic algae due to stress, often from warmer water. The coral turns white, losing its color and its primary food source. Some corals recover if conditions improve, but many do not. The wind carries seeds, spores, pollen, and even microorganisms across vast distances. What lands in one place may have originated hundreds or thousands of miles away, traveling on currents of air. Lava lakes are rare, persistent bodies of molten lava in volcanic craters. They churn and bubble, glowing orange and red, a window into the Earth's molten interior. Few places on Earth have them, and they're constantly changing. Alpine glaciers flow downhill like slow rivers of ice, carving valleys and depositing moraines. They respond to climate, advancing in cooler periods and retreating in warmer ones, leaving marks on the landscape. Clay soil can become waterlogged, making it difficult for plants to grow. Yet, when well drained and managed, clay is fertile and moisture retentive. Each soil type has strengths and challenges. Frost heave occurs when water in soil freezes and expands, pushing rocks and structures upward. In spring, stones appear at the surface as if they've risen from the ground. It's a seasonal cycle of freeze and thaw. The moon stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, preventing dramatic climate shifts. Without the moon, the tilt could vary widely over time, causing extreme changes in seasons. The moon's presence is a gift of stability. Let everything go. There's nothing left to do, nothing to hold. Just the earth beneath you, the air around you, and the soft, endless vibration of the planet turning. Sea floor spreading creates new oceanic crust at mid-ocean ridges. Magma rises, cools, and pushes older crust outward. The ocean floor is constantly renewing itself, young near the ridges, old near the continents. Pollen floats on the wind, traveling from flower to flower, tree to tree. It's the vehicle of reproduction for many plants, tiny grains carrying genetic material, drifting unseen through the air. Hot springs can host unique ecosystems, with organisms adapted to high temperatures and mineral-rich water. These extremophiles offer clues to how life might exist in harsh environments elsewhere in the universe. Clouds can form over mountains even on otherwise clear days, as moist air is forced upward and cools. These orographic clouds cling to peaks, sometimes creating a cap or banner of mist. The ocean absorbs about a quarter of the carbon dioxide we emit, slowing climate change, but also making seawater more acidic. This affects marine life, especially organisms with calcium carbonate shells or skeletons. Geodes often contain agate or other banded minerals in addition to crystals. Each layer represents a different stage of mineral deposition, creating rings of color. Cutting a geode open reveals this hidden history. Rivers carry the landscape to the sea, grain by grain. The mud in a river delta comes from mountains eroded far upstream, transported over hundreds of miles. The river is a conveyor constantly reshaping both source and destination. Aurora colors depend on which gases are excited by solar particles. Oxygen produces green and red. Nitrogen produces blue and purple. The altitude and energy of the collision also affect the hue. The sky becomes a canvas for chemistry and physics. Water has a high heat capacity, meaning it can absorb or release large amounts of heat without much change in temperature. This is why bodies of water moderate climate, keeping coastal areas cooler in summer and warmer in winter. The Mohs scale rates mineral hardness from 1 talc to 10 diamond. Each mineral can scratch those softer than itself. It's a simple, practical way to identify minerals, used by geologists for over 2 centuries. A moment to remind you, if this story has soothed you, please like the video and check the playlist for more restful explorations of the natural world. Your support means everything. Tides are highest during new and full moons when the sun, moon, and earth align, combining their gravitational pull. These are called spring tides, though they have nothing to do with the season. Neap tides, the lowest, occur during quarter moons. Clouds can weigh millions of pounds, yet they float because the water droplets are tiny and dispersed, and the air beneath them is warmer and less dense. Clouds are heavy and light at once, suspended in balance. Lightning heats the air around it to about 30,000 Kelvin, 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. This extreme heat causes the air to expand explosively, creating the shock wave we hear as thunder. The Earth's inner core rotates slightly faster than the rest of the planet, a discovery made by studying seismic waves from earthquakes. This differential rotation influences the magnetic field in subtle ways. Bioluminescent fungi glow in the dark, creating eerie greenish lights in forests at night. The glow may attract insects that help spread spores, or it may be a byproduct of metabolism. Either way, it's enchanting. Groundwater flows slowly through aquifers, sometimes taking thousands of years to travel from recharge areas to where it emerges as springs or is pumped from wells. It's a slow, invisible river beneath our feet. Glaciers reflect sunlight, helping to cool the planet. As glaciers shrink, less sunlight is reflected, and more is absorbed by darker land or ocean surfaces. This feedback loop accelerates warming. Cumulus clouds can grow into cumulonimbus, towering thunderstorm clouds that can reach the stratosphere. They're born from warmth and moisture, fueled by instability in the atmosphere, and they bring lightning, hail, and heavy rain. Lava meeting water creates explosions of steam, shattering rock, and black sand. The contrast between fire and water is violent and creative, destroying and building at once. Now, take one more deep breath. Let your eyes close if they haven't already. Feel the gentle hum of the earth beneath you, steady and eternal. You are safe. You are part of this vast, vibrating world. Know that the earth's energy surrounds you always, in the ground beneath your feet, in the air you breathe, in the sunlight that warms your skin. It asks nothing of you but to exist, to rest, to be. Sleep well. The earth will be here when you wake, turning slowly, humming softly, holding you in its ancient, patient embrace.